Alright guys, let's take a quick look at Jupiter today on the channel. Now, Jupiter has gone up about 22% today, and it is really pumping. So we need to take a look at the technicals here, and you can see that basically it has broken this long-term downtrend. It's almost a month long, guys, and it goes back to May 29th. Now, I do want to see, let's take a look at the volume here real quick in the visible range, and let's put this on a weekly time frame and zoom out a bit, and let's see what we have above us. Now, it does look like there is a lot of volume still above us to break. As you can see, we are right here, guys, and we're not even above the point of control here on this big candlestick that you can see. So the point of control basically comes into play at 52.2 cents. And right now we're about 10 cents below that. So we have a lot of work to do. Now, once we get above about 50, let's just say 56, 57 cents, we're probably going to ride up to about 70, let's say 72 cents pretty quickly, because these two candlesticks here, not very big, but then we do have a little bit of a hump to get over. But once we get above about 86 cents, the ride is pretty much downhill from there. We do have this candlestick that's a little bit bigger than this one, but basically it's downhill, guys. So as to volume, a lot of work to do here in the short term. Now, let's take a look at the Bollinger Bands real quick, and let's get rid of this volume here. So now, if we look at the weekly time frame, this is starting to come in a little bit. Maybe this was the most narrow it's ever been over here, but this is getting pretty close. Now, daily time frame, it's pretty much the same that it's been for a while. Now here, in April, it did kind of have a little bit of a pinch there. If we do zoom in here, you can see it was very narrow. Got this little bit of run here. But yeah, it looks like it is starting to come in. You can see this line is starting to come up, this blue line here, and this one may be coming down. So it might be starting to pinch a little bit here, and we're going to see a little bit of a pop, I think. Now, taking a quick look at the RSI and the stochastic, guys, basically the Stoch looks like it wants to turn back to the upside here on the weekly time frame. The RSI is actually pointed pretty heavily to the upside. It's just a little bit below the midpoint of this neutral territory, though. And the stochastic is basically at the midpoint. So yeah, they both have some ways that they can actually go to the upside before they need to cool down. Now, the RSI and the stochastic on the daily time frame both pointed pretty heavily to the upside, so looks good here. 4-hour time frame getting a little bit overheated though on the stochastic, and the RSI is just flirting with being overheated basically, so not so great in the 4-hour. 1-hour time frame, it is just getting out of this oversold territory on the stochastic. Now, the RSI is flirting basically with being a little bit overheated, so the stochastic can run a long way though. But yeah, the RSI probably needs to cool down just a bit, so we have kind of a mixed signal there. And the stochastic here on the 15-minute time frame getting overheated. And the RSI actually didn't get overheated, but it is turned down. So I think on the lower term time frames, guys, it's going to be a little bit, overheated. It's probably going to need a little bit of a cool down. But on the daily and weekly time frame, guys, it actually looks pretty good. So I do anticipate this moving more to the upside after a bit of a cool off. Now, I want to look at these candles too on a weekly time frame here. We almost have a bullish engulfing weekly candle. So that is actually good to see. It's only Tuesday right now, guys, so we still have another, 5 days, 5.5 days more to go. But this could easily, engulf this candle and maybe more. Maybe it takes out the previous 2 weeks or so before it hits this resistance up here at 48.8 cents. Now, taking a look at the MACD, guys, you can see this is slightly pointed to the upside with this blue line here, basically going sideways at the moment. Now, we do have some green candles. This is a dark green candle that is forming, so that is actually pretty good. We can see that it's starting to heat back up probably because these light green candles mean that it's starting to cool down a bit. So yeah, if we do take a look at that, It looks okay in my opinion on the MACD here on the weekly time frame. Now it can run up to about 0.08. This has a very short history though, but this is on the opposite end pretty much, almost at the same point. So there's a lot of room for this to go up, guys. Now on the daily time frame, let's take a look at this as well. This is starting to turn back to the upside over here. We're starting to get light red candles. So I do think we're in for a period like this where we're going to have some green candles on the daily time frame. And the highest it was ever at was, let's see, oh, it had a big, jump up here. So yeah, it was about 0.2 here. So it's quite a ways away from that. And yeah, not too bad, I think, guys, on the MACD here. Now, taking a look at the tokenomics, guys, basically you can see that this is the number 80 coin at the moment, and there's 10 billion max supply. Only about, we can say, 29.5% of that is floating around right now. Now, what's been created is about 70% of that, so that's okay. This is within my limits, guys. I say 10 billion is my maximum typically. Now, when you have like Tron and Cardano and Stellar and things like this, if they have more, they have a big community behind those coins, so that's fine. But anyways, Jupiter, all-time low, 30 cents about 3 months ago. If you picked it up there, excellent buy. All-time high, $2, sitting about 79% away from its all-time high. So it's right on the border, guys. I do believe Jupiter is a great project. So I think this really has a chance to get back to $2 and probably a bit more. Being 10 billion... and having about 3 billion out there, I would say, maybe $3, maybe $4 this can get to. It's kind of like where Matic was several years ago. So if you take a look at that, guys, I think Matic also has 10 billion. And yeah, I think this does have a chance to get back to the all-time high though. And sitting at, 42 cents, that's a 5x. Maybe it can do like a 7, 8, 10x maximum, I would say. Now, we did have a lot of news today, guys, and basically there was first Israel to reportedly strike one target within Iran because apparently Iran had broken the ceasefire, but Trump urged them not to do it, and a little bit later, about 5 minutes later, you can see that they actually canceled their plans to strike, and the ceasefire is still in effect. So there was a lot of confusion today about whether Iran had violated the ceasefire and whether, Israel had. But so far, it appears that's fake news or false news. So let's see, guys. So far, the ceasefire is holding. Now, before we jump to Bitcoin and take a look, guys, I do want to say I do have 10 exchange partnerships now. So check out these deals that I have for you here. I do have partnerships with Bybit, Bitget, MEXC, BingX, Bitrue, BTSE, BitUnix, WeX, Blowfin, BTCC, and guys, if you want Moodix, there's a free 7-day trial for this as well. And you can follow me on Twitter down here, guys. Now, looking at Bitcoin, guys, you can see yesterday was a quite massive day. It did get stopped here right at the 105,367 mark. And if I zoom in, you will see that it actually fell right under that mark perfectly almost. Now, today we are cooling down a little bit. I don't expect us to really pump unless we get some good news today. Probably this will be a little bit of a cool down day. I don't expect a green candle, honestly, unless we get some macro news maybe later that really pumps us. Now, macro news means HPI, consumer confidence, and what these three members of the Fed say. So Powell is speaking today. He's the Fed chair. Williams and the vice chair, Barr, is also speaking. So keep in mind, if they do say some, positive things, Bitcoin can pump, but also the HPI numbers and consumer confidence is a little bit important. If I say 1 to 10, it's probably like a 3, though. It's more important what these speakers say today. Now, looking at Ethereum, guys, Ethereum did a lot of work yesterday. I was really surprised to see it had actually closed so high above this 3-year trend line and 2356. Now, it's flirting with 2400 at the moment, and it hasn't quite made it back into this little flag here. The next resistance will be the bottom side of this flag, plus after that you do have 2506, which you can see was support for us for a very, very long time, during this consolidation. And then you have 25.52 after that. Looking at the total market cap, guys, you can see that basically it's back in this consolidation range, but we are at 1.11 trillion at the moment, getting a slight red candle. It's kind of an indecisive candle if we look at it. Now, the CME futures, we did close that gap yesterday, so that is actually good news. The dominance, guys, is falling down. It does have a red candle today, but it's a small red candle. So let's see where this falls by the end of the day. But keep in mind, guys, when we see things like this, we typically get a pump. So it's not the end game, I can say right now, but it could be the start. We just don't know. We have to be patient. Now, some people have spent their USDT since yesterday. As you can see, we had like a high up here at 5.27%, and it is sitting at 4.87%. But the trend is still up, guys. You can see here we did have this downfall, a lot of red candles, and we had this pump. So it's not over just yet, just like the dominance for Bitcoin, I would say. We need to see some more downside. We need to also take out 4.31% there. Now, the dollar index is getting a bit of a fall today. It went through 98.21, and it tried to break above that today, but it could not do that, so it's facing resistance there. Now, the altcoin season index did go up from a 14 to a 16 today, so nothing big, but at least it's coming up for altcoin holders. Now, liquidation heat map, 503 million have been wrecked. I'm a little bit surprised to see that this is more than like 400 or 350 million at the moment. But, it is what it is. And I do think this will probably go down a bit here in the next few hours because it's been, pretty calm, I can say, for most of the day today. Fear and greed, guys, 65 today, so that's a huge jump from 47. I'm really actually surprised to see that it jumped so many points, 18 points. That's just, I don't want to see that actually. The veterans will let you know and they'll tell you the same. You don't want to jump up too fast and get too greedy. Now, the bull market peak indicators, still 0 from 30 have been hit. It's unlike the other day where we had 1 of 30, and that was the dominance. But here it says 64.45, and you need more than 65% for that to hit. And on the chart I just showed you guys, I know it's above 65, so I'm not sure where they're getting that information from. Now, the best indicator, in my opinion, Pi Cycle Top Indicator, coming up pretty, I would say heavily here on the orange line, but the green line just looks like it wants to outrun it to the upside. So I don't know how long it'll take to cross, but it's probably going to take several months. Now, there's been a lot of MUDX news that's been measured today, guys. I'm not going to go through it all, but basically today is a very positive day so far, as you see here, and the sentiment is still risk on, and the trend is growing, guys. So you can see the last few pieces of news. Now, as you guys remember, like maybe a month or two ago, we were seeing much larger pieces of news. This is actually pretty normal, where you have 0.04, 0.02, 0.04, 0.04, 0.06. These aren't large pieces of news, but they do add up, guys. Now, anything above 0.1, I would say, whether it's positive or negative, is quite large. So you do have these couple of large pieces of news that were negative today, but that was due to the fact that they said that Iran and Israel had violated ceasefires and whatever. But anyways, check out MUDX, guys. Like I said, you can have a free 7-day trial. Now, when it comes to the Fed Watch tools, guys, it's same as last night. Basically, 77% believe that we're not getting cut, but this has risen from about 10% up to about 23% that think we're going to get a cut. Now, Trueflation shows 2.16%. I believe it was 2.14 last night, but I'm not 100% sure. So it has gone up a little bit. Crypto bubbles, guys, looks excellent today. Normally, if you saw 45%, this bubble would be so big, but because everything across the board is up so heavily, this looks pretty small. Anyways, guys, if you want to stake your Jupiter, they only have one place here, actually in Coinondo, so check it out. But if you want to look at some other coins, of course, they do have those here. Just go to Earn, and you'll find the list of coins. And anyways, guys, like I said, if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell, share this video with your friends, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for your support.